Breaking the News with Dan and Jordan.
This episode is brought to you by Rusty's Rusted Razors, making sure that every shave is a bad one. And now, our top stories. Breaking news. Sasquatch, known as Bigfoot, has been declared the world's richest person after cashing in stock options related to Silicon Valley and big tech. We tried to locate Bigfoot to give us an interview, but he is very, very hard to find.
As a matter of fact, the state, when they attempted to find him in the first place, they barely were able to find him themselves.
That's true. Hopefully they can locate him because he is very, very rich.
Well, I'm getting breaking news now, Jordan. Breaking news. Sorry to interrupt your story, but I have some incredibly important breaking news I'd like to share with the hunting community. For years, all you've been able to shoot at is ducks, or, if you want to practice, skeet, which is just a plate. But now, intrepid hunters are shooting at rally cars that have gone over large jumps.
Wow. Why, a rally car must be able to go faster than a cheetah, making it the fastest prey on Earth.
That's correct, Jordan. Hunters are saying that these babies can get up to 80 kilometers per hour, faster than any other bird.
Well, I have no problem with people hunting fully grown rally cars, but I don't think they should be hunting the babies.
That is still a topic of controversy that I'm sure will work itself out as the sport matures.
Sure it will, and I hope it does. Oh my goodness, breaking news! We have breaking news now about the nation's airlines. Large cats have been in charge of piloting passenger and commercial flights across the nation and across the ocean. The reason behind it? Cats are afraid of water and therefore will not want to crash the planes into the ocean when they cross the Atlantic or the Pacific.
Jordan, just to add on to your story here, cats also land on their feet. So if they were to crash the plane, they would most likely crash it wheel side down.
That's a good point, Dan, and one that I hadn't considered.
Now, the only problem with this story, Jordan, that I can see from where I'm sitting, and you've been the one researching this, so I'll obviously bow to your knowledge here, but isn't it true that many big cats are endangered?
It's true, they are endangered, and, the airlines are hoping that poachers are not going to go after them while they're on the airlines. Obviously, airlines have strict regulations when it comes to being able to bring weapons on the plane, so it'll be harder for the poachers to hunt these beloved endangered animals.
Well, that's fascinating. I'm really glad we can get them out into the workforce and get them productive. Breaking news, Jordan. I've just been handed a story from off camera here. It turns out that there is a brand new pet that will be launching this Christmas. For too long, humans have been relegated to a small number of animals to keep as pets. I mean, sure, you could get a shark, or perhaps a small lynx, or one of those adorable teacup hippos. But never have we seen animal chimeras. Well, thanks to the Goldfish Corporation, say no more to that. Their new hybrid shark, goldfish, fish, I guess it would be, will be released in stores 2 days before Christmas, and it's expected to sell it immediately.
Well, that's outstanding. Goldfish Corporation is one of the most beloved institutions that the world has ever seen. They donate a lot of money to Big Fish Bowl. They donate a lot of money to keep the oceans clean and dirty, both sides.
Indeed.
And I, for one, hope that people can find themselves one of these chimeras before they're all sold out for the holidays.
Well, I'd just like to say, Jordan, that the Goldfish Corporation has vowed not to donate a single dollar to any charity until these chimeras are in every home.
It's really nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
I trust them. Breaking news now. My goodness. I'm hearing about this story for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. A man has set the world record for cooking a pizza in the shortest amount of time by shooting it with a bazooka. I'm hearing now that the man is planning on opening a series of chain restaurants, all with bazooka chefs who are able to cook food at an incredibly quick speed.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I once had a pizza that was done with a flamethrower, and that was delicious. So I'm assuming a bazooka would only ramp up that flavor.
I think it will. Of course, patrons will have to stay back at least 100 feet due to the blast radius of the explosion created by the bazooka.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a boon for construction companies as well, as they'll need to rebuild the restaurant between each pizza pie served.
It's an amazing business model. Grand opening after demolishing after grand opening. They're sure to rake in the cash.
Well, I look forward to visiting my local bazooka pizza shop as soon as it opens. Oh, sorry, Jordan, breaking news now. Breaking news just coming in off the wire. I'm reading it here first. The number of birds being arrested for vandalism is on the rise. It used to be that you could rely on birds just to kind of sit there on trees, looking around, maybe eating a grain here and there. But now, these birds are dropping their own feces onto statues, cars, and sometimes pedestrians.
It's unbelievable. These birds think they can just get away with this. I'm glad they're finally being held accountable for the damage that they've caused for all of these years.
As am I. However, this is putting a massive strain on our police system, as officers are now forced to allow serious crimes to go unchecked, as they go after bird after bird after bird.
I think one of the largest challenges facing this bird community is lack of stability. They join a flock and then they almost immediately find themselves involved in crime. It's a real shame.
I completely agree with you, Jordan, and migrating south for the winter just moves the problem to a new area. So these gangs' territories just expand and expand.
It's a terrible shame. I hope the birds are able to take care of themselves. That's really where it needs to be done.
I completely agree. As for this reporter, I would just, at the risk of editorializing, tell all full-grown birds to please, keep a tight watch on your hatchlings. And you need to barf down their throat 3 times per day.
Yeah, make sure the barf goes right down their throat. I was just going to mention that. Feeding is so important.
Well, that's what causes a lot of these small birds to go out of their nests, Jordan. I'm sorry, please, continue with your breaking news.
It's okay, yes, I was about to break some news. Thank you, man. Breaking news, everyone! The Football League has gone off the deep end. Since football stadiums have, in large part, been demolished across the country, football games have been without a home and have been looking for a new place to play their beloved sport. They've decided to make a deal with water parks.
Ooh.
Football Hail Marys are now being thrown from the shallow end all the way to the deep end, maybe to the top of the water slide. Players are going down and looking to score a touchdown in all sorts of areas of the water park.
And if you thought it was impressive to watch a player do a flip into the end zone, just wait until you see some of the corkscrews and twists that these slides have on them.
You know, a football player is able to get a lot of height when they jump off a diving board. They're used to being sort of flat, you know, they do a lot of running, but now they're doing more jumping, cannonballs, for example. It's really enriched the game.
How long before the NFL cracks down on this showboating behavior? Oh, breaking news! Breaking news, Jordan. News from across the pond here in jolly old England. It turns out that the English government, looking to revitalize the city of London, has decided that what better way to do that than to clone their most famous landmark. That's right. Opening next week, 10 Big Bens.
Wow. Well, it's about time.
It is fully about time, Jordan. Now you'll be able to see the time from anywhere in London.
Now, they're going to have all these clocks there. I assume all the clocks are going to be set to various time zones so that you can know what time it is, say, in New York while you're in London? Or are they all going to be the exact same?
That's correct, Jordan. They will all be set to London time. Visitors have described the sound of the bells as a mind-shattering cacophony.
Wow. Well, it's never been a better time to be a tourist and visit jolly old England. Breaking news now. Oh my goodness. We are getting reports now of a man who has died. Garth misunderstood the meaning of fly fishing, climbed aboard a fighter jet, and soon found himself 35,000 feet in the air trying to fish in Lake Mickawickie. Reports are that he lasted for about 10 minutes, got a bite, thought he had a big one, and then fell off the wing of the jet.
This is such a foreseeable and such a preventable death. For years I've advocated that we need to get rid of the term fly fishing altogether, and flying fish, it just creates this confusion.
It does. Confusion that today resulted in a man's death.
Breaking news, Jordan. Breaking news. Often it's been said that when the heat gets too high, you can fry an egg on the floor. And that is the excuse that I will be providing today. As I dropped an egg on my way into the studio as I was rushing in, I had brought it in for breakfast, and I dropped it on the ground, and a lot of people gathered around as I was trying to pick it up, and they're like, "What are you doing there?" I was like, "Well, it's hot enough to fry an egg," and a lot of people started clapping. But I would just like to set the record straight and let it be known now that I clumsily dropped my breakfast.
It's very brave of you, Dan, and I would like to say that the one place you don't have egg on is your face.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that was fun. That was a lot of good news that we told there.
Well, it was, Jordan, but now I'm afraid I have to move to a little more of a heavier topic. It's time for our feature story. So this week, we've brought in an expert in the field of furniture. We have Jordan Ward in the studio with us here today. Jordan?
Hello, thank you for having me.
Of course, absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you on the show again. But I'm afraid this is under unpleasant circumstances. Now, you are an expert in furniture. This is correct?
I am. Yes. Yes, I've sat in a lot of chairs. I've reclined. I've lounged. I know all sorts of facts and figures about furniture, which you can find in my new book, Putting It All Together, The Furniture Story by Jordan Ward.
That's a great book. I've read an advanced copy, and even though you're pretty hard on me in that book, I think you're fair, nonetheless.
I think so, too. And, you know, I got to say, a lot of people balked at the idea of a book you have to put together yourself. But I think it really adds to the experience of reading the book. I think having to assemble the book page by page, having to apply the glue to the binding, having to do all that, I think it really adds an experience to furniture and to books.
I completely agree. The book itself is actually a pretty quick read. I was able to get through it in about 15 minutes. But putting the book together extended the life of that book by untold hours.
Yeah. Well,
but that's not why we're here today, to promote your book, Jordan. I'm sorry. I hate to get off topic here. We're here to talk about furniture and the alarming trend in people moving pianos upstairs and then the piano slipping off a wire and then crushing them underneath the piano.
It is alarming. You know, 86% of pianos are made to a weight that can crush a man. And this is a thing that piano industry does not want to acknowledge, doesn't want to talk about. There's been a lot of key people silenced, a lot of people who have just fallen flat or sharp. They're getting, you know, poked with things, subpoenas, and being told, hey, you stay quiet. Stay quiet about the piano moving industry and all the people it's squished.
Well,
I'm not one of those people.
We've had a lot of tips, actually, from our listeners and viewers, and they've been telling us that the most common note that occurs when a piano crushes a man flat is an A sharp. Mm-hmm. Now, is there a reason that that note is the one that plays? Is it programmed in by the piano people when they make the pianos?
Well, I have reason to believe that it is. And I'll tell you why. Since records began, as far as piano goes, A sharp's always been there. It's always been there ever since the beginning of pianos. And it's not yet confirmed that piano makers have included this note on purpose. But I find it unbelievable that we would find every piano death that has resulted, there's been an A sharp present. Every time. Without warning, the A sharp goes off. I think it's incredible. And critics argue, yeah, there's a lot of notes in a piano. But you know what? I say that yes, there are a lot of notes in a piano, but A sharp is one of them.
Well, that was a very evasive answer, Jordan, and I'm afraid that I have to do something a little tough in this interview then. I'm going to bring on a whistleblower who has worked inside of the piano factory for years. His name is Jordan Ward. Jordan, if you would come on here, please. Jordan?
Hello. Yes, I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, I would like you to repeat to me what you told me earlier in the green room, please.
Absolutely. I am here to blow the whistle on pianos. That's why I told you. That's why I told you in the green room.
Thank you. Jordan, do you have a rebuttal to these startling new facts that Jordan has brought to light?
I do. I would like to say, first of all, don't trust this man. When this man speaks, He's telling you he's a whistleblower, so he's already breached an oath of loyalty that those involved with pianos are sworn to uphold.
It was my gut instinct not to trust him, and your impassioned plea here today has really kind of set me straight here. Jordan, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I'm sorry to my viewers that I brought you on here today. Jordan, can you just leave, please? Thank you. And Jordan, I'll have you stay on for the rest of the interview. So I'm sorry to have to do that to you, to ambush you like that.
No, that's okay. You can conduct your show how you like. I'm just a guest. But yes. I will say I am working on another book. This book is all about whistleblowers who have been crushed by pianos. And it's called Hanging by a Thread. How to ambush a whistleblower in the piano industry. It's a how-to.
Well, it sounds like a fascinating read. I'll be sure to check that out when it comes out. But that's all the time we have today, Jordan. Thank you for being our guest. We appreciate that.
Okay, thanks for having me. I hope I can come back again soon.
Absolutely. I now turn it over to Jordan Ward, who has sports.
Thanks, Dan. Breaking news, everyone. The Boston Bruins have won their 14th straight game of chess against brilliant West Indian cricket batsman George Headley with a score of 176 to 157. You might ask yourself, how is it fair an entire team of hockey players is playing one man at chess? Mm-hmm. And of course, cricket batsman George Headley would agree with you. Or he's been trying to draw this out for 4 days, but nope, it's over. The Boston Bruins have won their 14th straight game.
Well, I have some breaking news in the world of sports, Jordan. The Chicago Blackhawks are your Stanley Cup champions, beating the Detroit Red Wings by a score of 5-1 to take the series 4-2. That's right, the 1960-61 Stanley Cup champions are your Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations to them.
I believe most of the team is dead by now, but still, a major accomplishment.
Well, it is a major accomplishment. Oh, breaking news. I have breaking sports news now. An a cappella soccer team has formed, and they will be taking on Edgar Moon in the Australian Championships men's tennis match.
Oh.
That's right. An entire soccer team will be taking on one man in a match of tennis.
How does that work?
Well, it's going to be a little one-sided. It's going to be a lot of people on one side with a lot of rackets, probably hitting a lot of grand slams because they're able to cover more of the court. And then on the other side, you're going to have this Edgar Moon fellow running back and forth.
I have some breaking news now in the world of sports that I'd like to share with everyone. The Toronto Blue Jays have released a statement saying that they apologize for playing the entirety of their last game without a ball or bats at all. The team now admits that in place of using bats, they were just pretending to hold them and going whoosh, swoosh, and whoosh.
Oh my goodness. They were so close to a championship. You know, if they had just kept that strategy, I feel like they could have pulled out a lot more victories this season.
Despite pretending the entire game, the Blue Jays still lost by a score of 8-4.
I have breaking news now in the world of basketball. Georgetown High School has defeated the town of Chicago for a score of 1-0.
The entire town of Chicago?
The entire town fell
well
to Georgetown High School, who pulled out a victory of 1-0 in a game of basketball against the town of Chicago.
Wow. Well, congratulations to Georgetown High School. That's a fierce rivalry that dates all the way back to the early 1800s, when Georgetown High School first beat the entire city of Chicago in a game of hacky sack.
Well, those sports rivalries, you know, they get people riled up, get people impassioned.
Mm-hmm. Well, one last bit of news here in the sports section, Jordan. It turns out that the new dictatorial government of the state of Ecuador is bringing back sports. That's right. The democratically elected government of the Republic of Ecuador had banned sports for many years, but the new dictator that's in charge vows to bring them on back. And soccer balls and baseballs and volleyballs are no longer illegal.
Oh, I thought you were going to say no longer because of that pause, but no longer illegal. That's a relief.
That might have been too much of a newsman's pause.
No,
I was
think that
using
was
a
good
newsman's
enough.
pause there.
Well, that's classic newsman's tool, the newsman's pause. Famous. Sports. What a wild, wild world it is.
Indeed.
Yes. We go now to the land of weather. Dan, we've both experienced weather, you
Indeed.
and I. It's something that never ceases to amaze me. But would you be amazed to hear that a tornado is now in witness protection, hiding somewhere on the East Coast after testifying against the mob?
Wow, I would be very surprised to hear that. Do you happen to know where this tornado is staying? Or what it might have changed its name to, just so I could, tell a couple of friends that have nothing to do with the mob?
Well, I mean, I trust you, so I could tell you. I'll tell you privately off air.
Right, you can probably tell me now. It's okay, you know? It's not like I'm going to call the mob up right away or that the mob is watching just in case you mention it.
Are you sure? Because this tornado is a crucial witness in a sensational case against the mob.
Oh, well, I haven't heard of any local sensational cases against the mob. I mean, and I'm in the news, so certainly I would have heard any big trials against, say, maybe Don Vito for drug running that was accidentally broken up by a tornado. I mean, surely I would have heard of anything like that had happened.
All right. Well, in that case, I guess I can trust you. The tornado's name is Spinny McSpinnerson.
Excellent. Breaking news now. Breaking news. I'm getting word that mob informant Spinny McSpinnerson is dead at the age of 1 year old. Yes, the tornado that ripped through the city, exposing Don Vito's alleged notorious drug trade, is dead. He was found committing suicide, is the official ruling.
Wow. The odds of that. Damn, we were just talking about that.
I know, it's crazy. Jeez, what are the odds of that?
Well, probably pretty small. This is why people need to be paying attention to news programs like this one, specifically this one. Because
I totally agree.
You are getting news that breaks so fast, you can't even believe how quick.
All right, I totally agree. And on an unrelated note, I'd just like to say, Don Vito, I have held up my end of the bargain.
Excellent. Breaking news now. I am getting reports breaking right now that a sandstorm is testifying against the Egyptian mafia. The sandstorm is being kept in an undisclosed location on the West Coast after a sensational court case providing crucial witness testimony.
That's a heck of a story.
It is a heck of a story. I looked on the other networks to find out about this story, and I found out we're the only ones reporting on it.
Oh. Well, that doesn't make any sense, because that was a pretty big story. I think everybody heard of that, how this poor guy was kind of framed up as a mob boss because a sandstorm blew in a whole shipment full of heroin, and he was selling it to undercover cops and all that, so it's kind of unfortunate. Do you know where that sandstorm is staying by any chance, or?
Well, Dan, you'll never believe it. When I was interviewing that sandstorm for this story,
you have an interview.
I had an interview, because I'm talking to the sandstorm, and the sandstorm told me exactly where it was staying.
Great.
And so I was going to go there to interview the sandstorm, but then I got hungry, and then I looked at my watch. I was late. I had to come here to work to do this show.
Well, maybe you could just tell me, and I could go do the interview. Even if he's not there anymore, I could at least go check out the place where he stayed, just kind of pay tribute.
Well, I guess I could do that. Maybe I'll tell you the name privately off air. I don't want to.
No. Come on. There's no need for that. We're a news organization here. We've got to give full disclosure to our many viewers, even if they happen to include Don Tutankhamun from the Egyptian mafia.
Are you sure? Because this sandstorm was going to give crucial witness testimony about very unheroic actions taken by Don Tutankhamun, and is increasingly concerned about illegal activity. You sure I can tell you the name?
I'm very trustworthy newsman. As you might remember, I broke the story of that hurricane having killed itself, and that tornado having killed itself, and that earthquake having killed itself after separate incidences involving various mob testimonies. So I'm a pretty trusted newsman.
Okay, well, you've been nominated for Pulitzers and Nobels and all these prizes.
I
and all that.
actually also won the Mafia Award for Excellence in Journalism last year.
Oh, well, congratulations. I guess I can
you.
trust you then.
Yes, of course.
The sandstorm's name is Sandy McSanderson.
Okay, great. And he was staying at a hotel, or?
Yeah, a hotel. Actually just next door to me. To me here.
Great, wonderful. So I would just like to say, Don Tutankhamun, I have held up my end of the bargain.
Oh, did you have a bargain? Some sort of bargain?
Huh? No, nothing like that.
Oh.
That's just a little catchphrase I'm working on. Just something fun to wrap up a story with, you know?
Oh, yeah. We're still working on the catchphrases for this show. Yeah.
And that's the weather.
Oh, that's fun. You know, this was a fun bit of news, and I'm excited to tell people what they can look forward to next week on Breaking the News with Dan and Jordan. Yes. Next week, I will have an exclusive story that we are breaking here about how water is running in the next Boston Marathon.
Finally, it's about time that we allow water, a natural runner, to run in a marathon. I will also be breaking a news story next week when we find out that Jordan, your house is on fire.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about that story.
So that's what we'll be hearing next week.
Fantastic. Also next week, make sure to tune in as I know he's canceled before, but this time he promises he's going to be on the show. I will have a one-on-one sit-down interview with the unabominable snowman, the lesser-known brother of the abominable snowman, and he will be here answering all of the hard-hitting questions that I will ask him.
Yeah, okay. You keep promising the unabominable snowman. I keep showing up with my unabominable snowman t-shirt and merchandise to get it signed, and he never shows up.
I know. Well, he's a bit shy, you know. He doesn't come out for a lot of interviews, and he's promised that even though he's canceled before, he's promised he's going to be here next week.
All right. Well, I'll get my hopes up one last week. And then maybe a couple more weeks after that if he doesn't show.
Also, big shout out to Rusty's Rusty Razors, as they sponsored today's show. If you want to get a year-long subscription to Rusty's Rusty Razors, make sure you enter code GOODIMPROV, and you'll get 264% off of your first year's subscription of Rusty Razors.
Those razors actually changed my life. Before I got Rusty's Rusty Razors into my life, I had a clean-shaven face, smooth. Ladies would say I was a super attractive man. But then, when I got Rusty's Razors, I found I can't take any beard hair off whatsoever. It just leaves large cuts and scars when I try to pull it down my face. And since then, I've grown this beard.
Yeah, a lot of scar tissue. Which I think makes the experience better as a user.
Absolutely. The manliest men have scars on their faces.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Well, thank you very much for joining us this week. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And that's it. It's over.
Now,
the show is over.
The news is broken. We broke it.
It's broken.
So you can leave.
Yeah. We really got to work on this sign-off. That was Breaking the News with Dan and Jordan.